Hi, James. Hi, everybody else. You're right. We need to talk a lot more and exchange our experiences, the wishes, our needs, and what we. I mean, life can be so exciting, and people's span of attention is not the highest nowadays, which is a pity. And everybody should be able to benefit from something somebody else just found out or realized all of a sudden, or give a good impression they had on something, or because of something. And that's simply impossible if everybody just, I say just because they are interesting, and of course I would like to see them communicate and share their, I mean, they should know their value. But some don't. But there must be something that's just about everybody is doing good, has good experiences, or the exact opposite, and chose not to do it a certain way anymore. That's something pretty easy to pronounce and pretty easy to say. It's life. And how much money can someone really have? I mean, it doesn't make you happy. After all, the thing that really counts is feeling good about themselves, exchange, and stay there. I mean, a constant. If life experience or frustrations or happiness just keep flowing around, and then they can compare it to somebody else or get the attention, and really can talk about something which should be allowed unless it's really something criminal or so. It's a good idea. Lately, I saw things happening in Germany which was just awful. Simply awful. And well, you heard about maybe those kind of tests. We would call it Initiationsritus. And that costs a bunch of lives worldwide on a yearly basis. And they simply are doing that to get accepted. So they belong to the cooler bunch of people. Maybe girls or boys, but there's something going on. And they think it's a good idea to give people the chance to participate in that by making them saying bad things about others. They're allowed to answer 3 simple questions. Well, like example, they said, would you date him? Yes, no. And what was the other one? Example. Explanation, right. Not one please, not one thank you, no nothing. And all that happens in a phase where people are building, where their personality really means a lot to them, and they don't even realize it's just developing. It's a constant development. Never stops. One day it will. But now they still have to focus again on respecting people. But on the contrary, it doesn't work. Not if you talk nice to them, maybe you. But it's simply, I mean, it's spreading. And the language, I doubt that they really know what they're talking about. And now that we are expecting lots of refugees, there's a lot going on lately on this planet. Of course they mistrust that, because it spreads, and for some reason it just decided. I never heard of that because usually it must be something you click on and then you can communicate or whatever you do there. At least it's for grown-ups. So that tells me a little bit of that story. So I saw that one. And with disgust I saw them and their behavior, although I should have known that they may be just fooling around. But that's not fooling around if you hurt somebody else's feelings. Because if somebody, they need to be, if they don't really have a backbone, for instance, that's that group behind them. If they didn't come together, I don't know, but they cheer him up, or her up. Everybody is cheering, and you see all kinds of mixes of people. And they really are overdoing it. Because maybe one day someone will wake up and say, well, how did I get here? I mean, what did I think? But I doubt that, because they are getting such everybody is looking on them, and then they're really focusing on scanning them, as they were told to. No, he's nice. But I don't like him, he's ugly. What? I thought... Can't they even be nice to each other if they spend some time under one roof? I mean, a tent maybe, or whatever that is. No. Because then the fighting starts. And you can't look like you're a weakling. You have to make it even more obvious how good you would be as a mate in a certain kind of group. Well, in this case that I mentioned, it doesn't happen here very often. But they have time enough to meet each other, to know them, each other's... even the girls. They ought to know that stuff can hurt. But they can't leave. It's still something else when it goes on. Women still behave another way. The others too. But people... I cannot say everything about that right now, what I would have said. Other ones might think that's the proper way to behave, but it isn't. Absolutely not. And so they think that's fun. It is not funny at all, not one little bit, and even I would not want to talk to them for a longer period. It's impossible to understand them. They don't want that, I suppose. Anyway, but I've already found 9 different things, various things, and they could end up behind jails. Well, if they think they have friends outside there, they will have good friends in the jail. Although they try to help those people out of a situation like that, those could spoil it. And if you don't wear the right thing, the entire label stuff, bling, 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 bip, 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 is fake. But it doesn't matter if you see the quadruples of somebody and everybody dresses the same way. And they have been to Switzerland, they have been to Frankfurt, Germany, they have been way up north in Hamburg. It doesn't look like. they are going to stop, because somebody may realize what's going on right now is definitely wrong. How could they? Snitch on them? No. Would they change their behavior while those other people are around? Definitely not. But they're forced to get worse and worse and worse, and those people are supposed to have a relationship that is intact. I can't change it. We can change it, but they are ruining somebody else's, trying to make the best out of their lives and not scaring other people by behaving strangely, although they are just in the same age group. You have to, the only chance one has is to say, stop. And that was enough, and because of that, you could end up in jail or be sent away. And they don't have a clue yet about the gravity that stuff has. I don't think the other ones have ever thought about that. Not really. But they are ruining somebody else's life. It will just help others to feel, not think about it, but feel that they are right. So nobody else could be there without being looked at in a strange way. Simply because it could be solved by giving them some rules. And if they are not followed, they will be under supervision of some people. Because I think they have no idea of how this can be used for something good. It finally could be used for something good. Better it would be if they would be integrated in helping others. They could be the smartest, maybe. Somebody could tell them, then show somebody else that you aren't what they behave, what they thought, just simply by watching your behavior. You can prove them wrong, because you are able to do that. It might seem a little strange at first, but so the others will think the same way, the Germans. Those from Switzerland and wherever they are going to. That it is their life that they can change right when they get there. It will start. That they will get all kinds of, it's not, they come from all over the place. We won't be hungry. But people are confused here and angry. So they'll feel that too. Those who could be proper neighbors and might not be the worst after all. Some people just keep forgetting how hard it was to build up this country again. How are they supposed to know, see? And some other ones who don't give a damn. They just want their money. And, of course, that best car ever. It's just like it was with generations. All through the generations, people had to prove that they were worthy of having a car that they can take care of, maybe help a neighbor. Not just maybe, but of course they can do it that can be done in certain ways as well, different ways. And it's very hard to understand when to do the right thing, or if that wasn't good enough, or maybe something wrong. Maybe it's just okay and nobody will complain. No, I don't think that I'll have to. I hope I won't have to complain about too many things. I just simply don't want to be one of those people that always are complaining. But if my rights are brutally taken away from me, for instance, or ignored, it will be my duty to say so. Because I would keep thinking about all those things they just did. Some people might be in a situation where it won't be that easy for them to accept what they just saw or heard, simply because they made bad experiences or misunderstood it. Maybe it has an entirely different meaning to somebody else. But I'm no saint. It will take a while until they are accepted. Could have been way sooner. And one day, I'll tell you how I gave back, try to always give back, what the Americans meant to me, how they became my friends, even when I was just a little girl. And that won't change. And I hope that could help others to get to know somebody else better and not have to be sitting there and can't use his hands or mimic or the entire body language to really bring it across. I think I need to call Howard Stern to help me out a little bit. I don't know. That will be a kind of a journey. And nobody ever asked for that. But we have to make the best of it. And I think you're kind of paving the same kind of way we are all on. And I'd like to join. Of course. I would have to do a lot of things to change that, but having a friend that needs some advice, and it would be a she. See, I'm already prejudiced, but simply to show what others may think, because I'm not scared. If somebody just behaved wrong and will still listen, once I say that was wrong behavior, just keep that in mind. Even if it's embarrassing for you in front of your friends, it might be better to listen to that. Quite an interesting thing. Just stay connected. It's worth being thought about. And I think it could be useful. At times it definitely could. Bye-bye.